Aquaman.
That makes me want like Cow and Chicken to come back, but in comic form, but super realistic.
Oh my god, I would totally.
An actual cow and actual chicken.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. Thank you for joining us for the Thundercast. We'll be back next week. But in the meantime, we do have our smaller side segment in which I, your host, Ben, my lovely co-host,
Scott,
Grant.
we talk about My Hero Academia. That's what we're going to do here today in this episode 45, in which Deku's group manages to save Crowboy from the villains, but Warpgate shows up and they escape with Bakugo. In the aftermath, public trust in UA and heroes in general has taken a blow. But between Creation Girl's tracking device and good old-fashioned police work, the good guys have a couple leads on the villain's headquarters. As the episode ends, the students must decide whether to mount a rogue rescue operation or leave it to the professionals.
What a twist.
What a twist.
you know what I really appreciate in this episode the most?
What's that?
So we get the whole wrap up, and we'll get into the nitty gritty here. This is the thing that stuck out to me the most in this episode. We get the wrap up of this whole thing, and it is the most depressing fallout. Like everything afterwards is just really kind of sad, and you get the sense of like, wow, that actually just happened. Everybody's like, this was a horrific incident where kids were injured or stolen or like their teachers were brutalized, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, when they just kind of Deku just very kind of monotone, sad, just like at the end of the weekend there were 15 injuries. One of our teachers is still missing, while two of the others have sustained serious, are in critical condition, and one of us is missing.
Yeah, it's something that a lot of fiction gets wrong, like Star Trek Into Darkness, where at the end Captain Kirk gives this big rousing speech like, yeah, we got that Benedict Cumberbatch-looking bastard. It's like, didn't he crash a spaceship into San Francisco and a bunch of people died? This is not a time for triumph,
This is a victory.
Yeah. And again, here it's just this sense of like, this was not a nobody, like none of us won here. This was
two or three guys are going to prison.
Yeah.
We lost.
Yeah, they hit us where we lived, and we couldn't do much about it.
Yeah, and the fallout for UA in this is so harsh, and they're even like, yeah, if even one more thing had gone wrong, we'd be done for. Like UA would be in tatters. And it's like, god damn. Also, this is all coming from what is he? What is the principal? What's...
I'll tell you what I think he is. I think he's the fucking leak. I don't trust this guy. His superpower is making master plans. And you know what's the best master plan? Being the principal of the hero school.
He does seem like the most suspicious guy there, to be completely honest.
Nobody ever suspects the butterfly.
Like, I feel like they mention when they have to fight him for one of their exams, where they're like, he would make a terrifying villain. And ever since then, I'm like, yeah, he would. Yeah, he would. Uh-oh, there's someone in this school who might be a turncoat?
Yeah, that was interesting to see, too. A little round table like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do? And Present Mike, quite reasonably, I felt, was like, so there's a fucking traitor in our midst. What if we were to, do something about that? And Urban Cowboy over here is like, no, that's infighting. That's just what they want us to do. Like, no, I think what they want you to do...
Sounds like exactly what the leak would say.
Yeah. I think what they want you to do is have an active leak in your organization and not do shit about it. I think that's how the terrorists win.
I do think it is one of those instances of yes, you want to make sure that there's no infighting. You don't want things to break down, and accusing people that you work with of that is a serious, serious issue. But yeah, brushing it off is not the response. That is like, we will deal with that. Right now, we have a very specific thing you need to handle, but that has to be handled. And it's like, hey, yeah, no, don't brush that off, because kids are almost murdered.
Yeah. But I want to see how they go about tracking down a traitor in their midst. I want to see what superhero internal affairs is like.
Yeah, huh?
Like, that sounds really interesting. Let's do that one. I have no idea if they plan on following up on that, like, anytime soon, but...
I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things, and like, well, all right, I feel like this is me selling My Hero maybe perhaps a bit too short,
Yep.
but I can totally see it being just them storming the enemy bar or whatever, and from the shadows he appears like, oh no, it's our teacher from that one episode. Vlad, you're the bad guy?
Oh,
like,
no.
just, like, I really don't want that to be the case where it's like we see our evil, our leak or whatever, but I don't know. I would like there to be kind of a long process of which one of these guys is the killer kind of scenario.
You know, and you know what this episode also really sold? The fact that these kids were in, like, and we kind of had this covered beforehand, like, yeah, these guys are out to get the kids. Yeah, a lot of these kids almost died, and this was like a small group of villains. Because we think, oh yeah, they can readily handle them. It took the teachers and these kids to do it. This was a really bad showing for UA. Like, they were caught by surprise in the worst situation, but like shit.
Not to mention, it seems pretty more or less overtly implied that Ragdoll, I think her name, is just dead.
Well, they said she's missing, but the evidence had shown that she had lost a lot of blood.
A lot of blood.
A substantial amount of blood.
Yeah, and I think Dabi had specifically said that the Nomu has already killed one person, and it was her headgear or whatever that we saw it like putting down. So, seems
right,
very likely that she is the person that Nomu killed.
I forgot that we had a Nomu there.
Yeah, he just kind of shows up like twice and is not made as big a deal as one would think for something that was like
the big baddie of season one.
Remember, the Nomu themselves are not as strong as the one. Like the All Might one was made to fight All Might.
Yeah.
There have been other Nomu. Hell, Stain just took down a Nomu like not even a fucking issue. So the Nomu themselves like vary in strength and danger. But one running around with a chainsaw arm is pretty fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. In fact, the only reason I think it doesn't actually get to do what it wants to is because they're like, oh, no, time is up.
Stand down.
Like, we have a time frame to do this on, and it's like we got what we wanted.
I did notice a Chekhov's gun that's shooting blanks. The whole deal was, hey, we got to save this small kid. He's got water powers. He can put out the fires. Oh, never mind. Turns out we have a fire department for that.
Oh, yeah. I guess.
Not a big deal. Just something I
Yeah.
noticed.
So, Tokuyomi almost gets Tokuyami?
Crowboy.
I think it's Yami. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
Tokuyami.
sure it's
I think
Yami.
you're right.
Yeah, I keep wanting to say Tokuyomi. Tokuyami almost gets taken. That whole sequence worked out really well. I love the whole like I've got the marbles, bitch. No, you don't.
Yeah.
I loved that too because I remember in that shot from that episode, he goes behind the ice, and I'm an editor. So I saw that shot and I'm like,
Something happened back there.
yeah. Like, I've read the manga, but I completely forgot about that part. So I was like, huh, why did he go? Going behind the ice is kind of a neat thing, but they wouldn't have that there without a purpose.
I didn't notice that shot, but I was thinking, like, yeah, there's no way they did all of this to have them not kidnap Bakugo at least. I wonder how he's going to get them marbles back.
Yeah.
and I love it. Fucking Frenchie comes out and hits him in the fucking face. And this only would have worked if it had, this would not have worked if it had not been a fucking magician.
Yeah.
Because he's like, but you see, oh shit. Like, he has to be the guy who's going to monologue and show off. Otherwise, any of the other villains would have probably been like, yeah, no, fuck it, we got it over here later.
I was glad that Naval Laser Kid got to actually do something, since I think in the last episode we see him like hiding panicked in the bushes before everything goes down, and it was just weird for him to be there and him to be like, I might gather some intel, but then they're all looking to leave before they say anything important, and then Deku and friends show up anyway. So I was like, it's weird that he is in this vicinity. Oh, well. And then he actually gets to have that saving shot there for a second.
Yeah. While he doesn't do a whole lot, while this show does have one or two drop Chekhov's guns, by and large, Kohei, I always forget the damn mangaka's name. I'm gonna say Kohei. I don't know his last name either. Is very good at just setting small things up that will pay off later. So. Also, yeah, they've got Bakugo.
Yep.
They straight up kidnapped Bakugo.
Yep. And as the episode ends, we've got our stalwart heroes, our school children's arguing over, hey, so the one of us who was like clear-headed and competent through that whole thing, she put a fucking tracking device on him. We gonna do anything about that, or are we just gonna let the pros handle it?
We're gonna follow this up, or do what the teachers keep telling us and be good little boys and girls and stay back. Real quick, maybe one of my favorite visual things in the whole episode is the guy whose superpower is eat sweet things and get strong comes in wearing a white t-shirt that just says sugar.
Hell yeah.
Just like, fucking I want that shirt. That's pretty great.
Now I want to see Superman on his day off with a shirt that just says yellow sun.
Just like, all right, in case anyone wasn't sure what his power was, since we don't really get to see him do a lot, just like, oh, he's the sugar guy. Duh.
Is that like a life alert bracelet? Like in case he falls unconscious,
Yeah,
the EMTs
yeah.
know, okay.
Hey, if something happens, feed me some of the good stuff.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
be ready to go.
Hold his mouth open. We got these pixie sticks. Let's make this happen.
Oh my god, I forgot that. You know, I'm terrified, horrified every time I remember that pixie sticks is an actual treat that we give children.
Yeah.
But I did like seeing that Ida is the one who's arguing for, like, no, guys, I've been down this road. It doesn't end well.
Revenge isn't fun. Remember, Deku?
It's like, we need to trust the professionals. We're going to fuck this up. And then everyone else is like, no, fuck that shit. We're getting our goddamn friend back.
Yeah,
And,
well, I don't know. Rock Guy was arguing very vociferously for it. It felt like everybody else was kind of on the fence.
and I love that it's Karashima. Like, yeah.
I let my friend get taken.
Also, did you watch the dub?
Yes.
Okay, is Justin Cook all right?
He sounded a little raspy.
Yeah, he sounds a little out of breath. I think he might have been sick during the recording of this one. I mean, it works for Katashima.
Yeah.
Katashima looks like this little kid who's probably been smoking since he turned 2. So it works.
I really
but-
liked that the specific word choice they have is like, he's still within reach. You can reach out with your hand and get him. And Deku has his hands all bound up and bandaged. Like, it's just like, maybe a different metaphor is what we should be looking
It's
for.
like, Katashima, could you choose a different metaphor? No! You've got to grasp him!
Come on, just get him.
So, speaking personally, I'm with Ida on this. Maybe just hang back. That does not exactly make for, like, exciting storytelling, so I doubt they will actually do that, but that would seem the sensible option.
You're not wrong. I mean, that is the smart thing to do. Do not rush out to the League of fucking Villains. That's like that's like sending the Teen Titans to go after the actual League of Supervillains.
It's like sending Teen Titans Go after the League of Supervillains.
Don't be mean.
I'm just saying.
We've got
they're
the
over-
Wonder Twins and Darkseid in one corner.
Well, I'm a giant wall of ice, and those are I-beams.
Whoops.
Yeah.
How about this alien monkey, though?
He can help. I'm trying to remember if there were any other major points, because this episode I feel like is just a lot of, we kind of get to see the fallout of them arriving just in time to rescue Tokoyami, and then being like, man, shit's real bad, you guys. We got hit hard. And then them just kind of, like, we have the UA bit where they're talking, where the upper brass is talking about how there might be a leak. I don't think we get a whole lot of stuff at the bar. I think we just get confirmation that Bakugo is there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it for as far as reveals on their end. And then it's just...
Yeah, just kind of one scene of them like, so, have you ever thought about all that evil can offer you?
Look at all this stuff bad things get you. I've noticed you seem to hate all of your good guy friends. We can hate each other and we encourage it.
Hey, so I've seen that you just hate everybody. You know what I do? I hate everybody. Let's see if we can make that work.
The only, and here's my prediction for things going forward, is while I do think Bakugo is a big head case and is clearly shown to be this probably sociopathic psycho,
Yep.
I think he has an unyielding respect for All Might, because every time All Might comes up, he is always just like, he is the rung I'm trying to reach for. He's the number one guy who never loses. And so I think when, like, the bad guys explain their little like club to him. Be like, you can do what you want. And he'll probably be like, all right, that sounds cool. That sounds right. No limitation on my powers. Can use them whatever. And then we want to kill All Might. No, I think that's gonna be his like line in the sand. I think everything else he'll be like, all right, I'm picking up what you're putting down. No, I'm not gonna kill All Might, and that'll be the turn off switch. And I don't know if he'll go back to like UA after that, but I think that'll be him being like, no, I don't want to join up with this gang.
Are you sure?
I mean,
he does want to beat All Might.
he wants to defeat him, but I think killing him is like the step too far.
Yeah, but if this team can give him what he wants.
A Sasuke-esque, we can give you your curse mark if you work with us villains, and that'll make you strong enough.
I do like the Sasuke retrieval arc going on right now,
Yeah.
by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's...
100%.
It's... Man,
It's one of my favorite arcs in Naruto. If we're going to do it with a show that I think has been, by and large, better in all respects,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You're not wrong. See, when Naruto came out, that was the coolest shit.
Yeah.
And it's still like, look, the first Naruto series, all the way up to the end of the Naruto versus Sasuke fight, has some really good stuff. It has
Yes.
some dumb bullshit, but by and large, it's a good show. My Hero Academia does a lot of what Naruto did, but with way more competence.
More
And
competence and
also-
less reliance on last generation was just like this one, and now we're stuck in a cycle.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
a
yeah.
fun motif, but I'm tired of it.
Well, that's very Japanese in terms of like the old, like especially with ninja and stuff. That was very in line with its whole aesthetic and its premise. Yeah, for something like My Hero to do that would be really wrong,
Yeah.
especially since it's approaching heroes from a more Western point of view.
Yeah. The only way I could see it sneaking in is with, the source of One for All being a very generational thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, with Deku it's very much all about inheritance, but it works for one character.
Yeah, exactly. It is not going to be, and Bakugo's dad was fighting against All Might all this time.
And then meanwhile you have Todoroki.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have him like being forced to inherit this stuff, and he's like, I don't want it. I don't want
Yeah.
this. I don't want you. Fuck you. I'm still gonna use my fire, but like not the way you want me to, dick.
Well, I will be interested to see where this show goes next time. As things stand, I've been kind of hot and cold on this arc, honestly. I think a lot of times it's just had a lot crammed in there, a lot to absorb, but I like the way it all wrapped up during this like end of an arc. Let's see what's happening. So, hey, surprising no one. Holding up that eggplant.
Yeah, I was hot on this arc the entire time. I love this arc, and the best part of the arc is about to start.
Yeah.
So, and that's my opinion, but it's real. It was also one of the two things that we didn't mention. We got to see Twice fight, and he's a lot of fun. I like the fact that he's got this like literal razor like sword thing.
Oh,
in his-
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was really cool. And actually, that whole last fight just had a lot of stuff going on in it that I really liked. So yeah, this whole episode is a fantastic cap to the first half of this season. I guess it was kind of its own arc. Like A- for me. Absolutely great.
I would say I also liked this episode. Totally going to give it that eggplant. As far as like critiques for this kind of mini sub arc as a whole, I do kind of agree with you, Ben, that it did seem like it was kind of like forcing a lot in there all at once. And while I do think that was like to play up the chaotic, everything's happening at once and nobody knows what to do, like, setting for the events actually taking place. This is one of the rare instances where I'm like, I feel like they could have had one more episode to deal with all of this stuff they wanted to do all at once, and maybe it would have felt a little paced better. But ultimately, I still had a great time, and I do think it's an effective means to be like, because I was having trouble keeping up with what was happening because so much stuff was going on, which I think was the point. But from a pure entertainment value standpoint, I could also see it being an easy turnoff for people, I guess.
Yeah, I think it probably affected me a little more than it might have if I was watching it purely for enjoyment, because I'm having to sit here and take notes and try and keep it all straight.
Yeah.
I think it's the sort of thing that would be, and it was already enjoyable, but even more enjoyable if you can just kind of let it wash over you
Yeah.
and worry about the nitty-gritty details later.
Yeah, that's where I am. Like, I don't have to worry about any of that. So thank you for taking on that burden.
But
Man, maybe I should be the one doing that. Maybe I should be taking the notes for this. I've seen all this stuff before. Maybe that would be better.
yeah, I mean, we can try that. Well, Not next week, because, by the way, next week I'm on vacation.
Oh.
I mean, if you guys still want to do a My Hero, you certainly can while I'm gone. That's fine. I'll catch up with you the next week.
We'll discuss that later.
Yep.
Fine.
Stay tuned. And continue to stay tuned. Shit.
Yep.
These transitions.
Continue to stay tuned if you're on Twitch. We're about to continue into our regular segment. But for all of you on YouTube, we'll see you later.
Yep.
Thank you for joining us. Bye.